So thank you so much for joining me here for the live read of Junebug, my first book, right? And Junebug is a story of trials and survival, and all laced with magic, wrapped up in how she learns to maneuver these situations, right? So Junebug is really speaking to the 1 in 3 children on the planet that are being sexually abused in their homes, right? And I know stats say 1 in 5, but I know they didn't count me. And I know they didn't count many of my clients who, in their 50s wake up and go, oh my gosh, my dad was molesting me, right? If that was you, right, or someone you know, please have them hop in. I would love to hear what you have to say and how Junebug affected you. And you can pick up your copy at cheriedoyen.com on the books page, and you'll be able to read along. So as we dive in today, we have to understand that, June had just had, it was the final straw, right? Her dad's best friend, and now her uncle, the one man that she did truly trust, right? And she had attached a lot to this human being, right? She really felt like that no matter what was going on, he was the voice of reason. And now she knows that was a very flawed way of thought, right? So we're going to jump right in. I close myself in the darkness of my room with the questions churning, thoughts colliding. I think and I pray and I pray and I think until my head is empty. In the stillness, I drift off to the other side easily. And I'm met tonight by a beautiful Indian woman. She seems to be in her mid-20s, with kind brown eyes. Looking directly at me, she says, June, we have some important things to talk about today. And it's okay for us to talk freely here. You can say whatever you need to say, and I will try to help you understand. She urges me with a gesture of her hand to walk beside her. Where's Tigwa? He always meets me here. In my mind, I'm thinking, well, I'm not budging without Tigwa. I don't know who you are, right? No worries, little one. Tigwa is waiting for us in the village. Are we going to meet with the seer? Later, she says. We have some things of our own to do first. Intrigued, I decide to follow. Are you sure Tigwa is there? Shh. The woman hushes me while touching my hair. Nothing's going to happen to you here. You're safe. Up ahead, galloping to meet us, is the most beautiful white stallion I have ever seen. He tosses his head and he whinnies his greeting to both of us. Bringing up the rear is my new friend, the Paint. After our hellos, we are offered some company and a lift. Once situated and comfortable, we begin our journey to the seer's village. Do you live in the village too, I ask? Yes, the seer is my father. A pit is forming in my stomach. Does he hurt her too? Is that what they all do? He felt like such a good man. Is there such a thing? Every time I put my trust in one, the ugly, confusing stuff starts. As if reading my thoughts, the woman says, that's what we're here to talk about today, June. All men aren't bad. Some people do bad things, and they make bad choices that affect you. But they all come from God in the beginning. They all start with that same pure essence. If you look closely, you can see how frightened and insecure they really are. They were hurt too. On the inside, they feel like angry little children. Growth has stopped for them. Well, if they were hurt too, then why would they do it to anyone else? Why would he hurt me? He knows, and still he has gaps in his knowing. On the day something bad happened to him, he chose to go to another place too. His memories have been misplaced. He can't remember what it feels like to be you. That's why you have to remember. Now the rainbow appears up ahead, and the ride over the bridge never ceases to amaze me. The colors are dancing and gyrating, transparent yet solid. I look back and watch as the bridge disappears from sight. Arriving at the village, we stop in front of the entrance of a small teepee on the edge of camp. It's situated some distance from the others. There's nice, warm smoke coming out of the opening at the top. The feeling of comfort is right on the heels of the familiar smell of sage and lavender. I'm helped from the paint's back by a very handsome young man. I try not to notice the gentleness of his touch, the sweetness in his face. I turn away quickly. Uncle Vernon's betrayal is more than I think I can bear. I feel severed. Yet again, I've given up hope of any man being true and kind. I've never known one. The seer and Tegwa are waiting for me outside the tent. June, you have a big job ahead of you. It's up to you to untie the karmic knots of your lineage. It's time to find your courage and see what's before you. With this, the flap is lifted, and the Indian woman and I, along with Tegwa, are left alone inside. Now the woman guides me to a lovely spot, all cozied up with blankets and pillows of all colors. She urges me to get comfortable and relax. It won't take much with all the colors and the air filled with the mixture of sage and lavender. I realize that I haven't even asked the woman her name. I don't know your name. The woman sits close and she pulls the pipe from its place and takes a long pull. And as she passes it to me, she says, "My name is Mahela." I can feel the familiar sensation working its way through my body after my turn with the smoke. What does it mean? I close my eyes for a moment. I want to take it all in. It means the power of the female, she says. She takes another pull from the pipe and places it back in its rightful place. Now, I understand that there are things going on down there right now that are very confusing for you. I nod my head yes. Why does this keep happening? I don't understand. We were taught in kindergarten to keep our hands to ourselves. I don't want them to touch me. Anyway, I look like a little boy. It's not like I have big boobs like other girls. Why me? It's time to remember. It's time to know. It's like you've left the back door open. Until you know and understand it will happen over and over again. Knowing will close the door and fill in the gaps. It's about that we know, it's about that they know that they can. The path through the grass is worn. So it's not about what your body looks like or what you wear. You haven't done anything wrong. You know, June, the wolf doesn't take the strongest deer in the herd as his dinner. No, he waits. He's patient until the one appears that has a weakness that he can take advantage of. Now it's time for you to see what's been happening with your father. The picture's been moved out a little, June, so that you can see. Why do you think the things with those men feel so familiar? You have to see. And once you see, then you can stop him. In stopping your father, you stop the others. This is why he hits you, June, out of disgust for himself and what he does to you. But my mind moves on to what is more pressing. My body betrays me. I don't want to see the woman's face as I speak, but sensing no judgment, I continue. While my mind screams at me with disgust and shame, my body gets all tingly. Makes no sense. The woman smooths my hair soothingly. June, that's perfectly normal for your body to react to touch. God made us that way. They're not supposed to touch you like that. It's not their right. And that will be their burden to bear in the end. I want to give you another tool for your medicine pouch. With this, you will have a way to diffuse the energy in your body so that you can have clarity in your mind. The woman urges me to lie back, pouring warm oil in my hand. She guides me to that soft spot between my legs, the place that everyone feels so interested in. She gets up quietly and leaves me to explore. Lifting the flap of the teapiece, she turns back to me. Now relax, June, and find it. Then you will understand their need and what it is they want from you. It's sacred, and it's yours, June. No one else's. You get to choose when and with whom you share this. It cannot be taken. I'm experiencing feelings I couldn't have dreamt of. Colors are swirling in my mind's eye after the explosion of white light. Breathing hard, I lie back and bask in the glow of the moment. I gather myself up, feeling more than a little embarrassed. I have no idea how much time has passed. I slowly work up my nerve to face the village and poke my head through the flap of the tent. I look around and realize life is going on normally. Everyone's going about their business. No one seems to care in the least what I was doing amongst the pile of colorful pillows. They don't know that I've been on a treasure hunt. This makes me smile as I step out. Somehow, I feel a little taller. June? I hear Mahala's soft voice calling out as she approaches. She puts her arm around my shoulder as she begins to speak. Now, June, take back with you what you know and take charge of you. With that, I'm back in my bed, my body tingling, my hand between my legs, holding that special place tightly, the place that's been touched by everyone but me. Now I understand it's mine. These feelings are mine, and I don't want to share a sacred feeling like that with any of them. Sam's sick all the time these days. Sam's sick all the time these days. He's so skinny and little. He can't even get on the school bus without help. I have to lift him up to the first step. His ulcers keep getting worse. I start to share with him stories of my adventures in the other place, and I tell him all about Tigwa. How afraid I was the first time I saw him. How Grandma's there sometimes, but she looks different. I try to weave the teachings of the teacher through my tales as much as I can. Right in the middle of a grand story, an idea begins to form. What if I could bring him with me? What if the memory thing would work for him too? Maybe some fun on the other side would be good medicine for him. His poor little body could use a break. I don't remember everything. Maybe he won't either. I'm going to try to take his hand and bring him with me the next time things get tough. We'll see what happens. The excitement grows as the possibilities as I share my idea with him. He tries hard to understand and nods his little head yes. His eyes are shining. We make plans for a signal. You will have to pay attention and listen real close. I'm going to yell your name with my mind. You won't hear me like normal, I tell him. It'll be like you hear me inside your head or in your belly. And if you feel something at all, you just hold up your hand. Now don't take time to think about it or we might miss a chance. I'm banking on the idea that maybe we can talk without words with our minds like Grandma and I can. Together, we decide that it sounds like a pretty fun experiment. And if it works, I can get Sam out of here for a second. The talking with no words thing could really come in handy. if we can master it. It sure couldn't hurt anyway. No one will know what we're saying unless we want them to. Sam thinks that sounds pretty cool and said, all said and done, the plan's in place. Sam looks up and says, wherever you go, June, I want to go too. Forever and always, forever and always. I have a promise to keep. One bright summer day, the whole group is going to Six Flags, and Uncle John's summer job has set us up with huge discounts. It's something we wouldn't be able to do otherwise. I'm sticking close to Dad. At this point, it's preferable to get stuck in a group with any of the other men. Not to mention, when Dad gets out in public, we never know what might happen. Hopping from one ride to the next, we make our way around to Tom's Twister, the ride that's shaped like a huge barrel, and it spins so fast that the centrifugal force pins everyone to the wall as the floor drops out. I tend to get sick from the spinning, but at the last minute, I decide to join them. I'm positioned directly across from my father. It's a good spot. Dad's situated between a very large lady and Uncle Vernon. The thing begins to spin, slowly at first, then faster and faster until we're all plastered to the wall, unable to move. I'm keeping my eye on Dad, just in case. I notice fear creep into the large woman's face as the color is draining out. Just at that moment, the floor drops and the woman lets go of a scream and her bladder. Large woman, large bladder. The centrifugal force has the piece suspended in midair for a second and then throws it against the wall, right where Dad is pinned. Once again, drenched in urine, but this time, God has it all in slow motion. He can't even move his arms to wipe his face. As the ride begins to slow, and the floor rises, we gain more control over our movements. Dad's wiping at his face with his shirt sleeve, one of the only dry spots he can find, and he's cursing the whole time. The poor lady is so embarrassed. She's talking 90 miles an hour, and I make a beeline for the exit. I have to find a safe spot out of sight to relieve my laughter. I sometimes wonder if God throws these little tidbits in the game just to keep me paying attention, or if he just enjoys my laughter. Whatever the reason, it keeps the game interesting. Too bad Grandma missed this one. She would have gotten a kick out of it. I'm about 29 with two girls of my own. Another one of God's little tricks. My life becomes consumed with the job of keeping them safe. My search for truth is put on the back burner. No one is left out of the circle of suspicion. I'm vigilant about imparting to the girls the lessons I learned too late. No secrets for them. They're left alone with no one until they can speak. I try to give them the vocabulary to speak out and know it's safe. Most of all, I want them to know without a doubt that we're on their side. Your words matter, and there will be action. I don't have to wait long. My youngest is 3. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful Easter weekend. The family's all dolled up for the Easter Vigil. It's late night service, 10 o'clock on a holy Saturday. Sarah, my youngest, is already a little cranky and doesn't want to go in. She's a live wire and has trouble sitting still on a good day. She's begging me to go to the childcare. Now we're brimming at the edge of one of her rare tantrums. I'm not thrilled about it, but finally I give in. It's church. She will be across the sidewalk in the activities building. I have a whole conversation with myself in a matter of seconds. My belly doesn't like it. I tell myself I'm being silly as she pulls me towards the door. It's all good. I try to talk to Nicole, our oldest, into staying with her, and she won't have it. She's set on going with us. So to bypass the potential for our second meltdown in the last 10 minutes, we leave Sarah playing in the nursery, and Nicole comes with us. The 3 of us find our customary spot, front row on the left. Nicole wants to be able to see Father. About halfway through the service, the unsettled feeling begins to grow in the pit of my stomach. The rest of the service takes an eternity. I want to flee the building, run right down the center aisle. Instead, I choose to be polite and wait right up to the very end. I part the people like the Red Sea. I can't get to Sarah fast enough, pushing and wiggling my way through the crowd until I'm finally standing in the doorway of the childcare. Sarah, turning, cries, "Mama!" I scoop her into my arms and tell myself, she's fine, see? I can't wait to get out into the fresh air. I say my thank yous and we rush back outside. I find a place free from the crowd. I need a view of the doorway to the building so we can catch Bob and Nicole before they go inside. I begin with my usual stream of questions about Sarah's evening. Did you have fun tonight, sweet girl? She shakes her head dramatically. That man, she says, while pointing at a man who appears to be helping in the room. He was itching his pee-pee while I was sitting on his lap, Mama. What do you mean itching his pee-pee? He was itching it up and down. Was it inside his pants or did he have it on the outside? He had it on the outside, Mommy. I didn't like it. He wanted to take me to the bathroom. I wouldn't go, but I had to go real bad. Did he touch your pee-pee? She shakes her head no. Catching sight of Bob, I wave him over. He can sense something is wrong. Sarah, can you tell Daddy about the man? She reiterates the story verbatim. Daddy needs you to show us which man, Sarah. Can you do that? Bob says. She nods her head eagerly. We move to the doorway of the room and she points confidently at a scraggly looking man on the fringe. Him. And he smells funny, Mommy. The man, startled, takes off. He pushes his way through the crowd and bolts out the back door. Take the girls on home. I'll get a ride. Bob goes after him. How can this possibly be happening? I can't breathe. I settle the girls into bed with chatter about the Easter Bunny coming in the morning. I'm perched on the edge of Sarah's bed when she asks, "Where's Daddy?" It's okay, don't worry. Daddy went to catch the smelly man, so he can't itch his pee-pee in front of you or any other little girls. He will come home in a little while. Now, you just get some sleep. You want to wake up early and see what the Easter Bunny has left you guys, right? She nods eagerly, and I give her a kiss on the cheek. You did such a brave thing tonight, Sarah. Mommy is so proud of you. I didn't like it, Mommy. I know. Now, don't worry. You're safe, I coo. Nothing bad will happen to you. Mommy is here now, and Daddy is going to catch him. Daddy is going to catch him. My voice drifts to hopes and prayers. Please let her see this done. My brain is screaming. The phone's ringing. I stroke her face. Go to sleep now. Mama's going to go answer the phone. I close the door on my way out and make my way through the house to the kitchen. June, we got him. The adrenaline comes crashing through the phone lines. I chased him through town and met a cop. He was just sitting at a stop sign. The cop believed me and he caught him about 4 blocks from the church. Can you believe it? They want Sarah to come down to the police station, and tell them the story. What do you think? I take a deep breath. So much is stirring around in my body. I work to keep my voice as even as possible. Wow, that's amazing. I force myself to breathe. Yes, most definitely. I think she needs to do this, don't you? I do. Okay, I'll talk to her. We'll be there in a few. I went back to the edge of Sarah's bed. Sarah, that was Daddy. He was so brave. He helped the police catch the bad man. The police need you to tell them everything that you can remember. Can you remember what he looks like? Yes, Mommy. Do you think you can do that for Mom? She nods her head yes. Sitting across from a very nice policewoman, Sarah in my lap, teddy bear wrapped in her arms, she again tells the story exactly the same way. She describes the man down to the mismatched buttons on his jacket, and again with the smell. When she finishes, the woman smiles. First looking at Sarah, she says, "You are a very brave little girl. You did a great job. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us." And she turns to us. That was amazing. She has quite an eye for detail. There's not a doubt that we have the right man back there. That's my girl. I'm so proud of you. And I snuggle her in tight. The guy got off thanks to some technicality, but for Sarah, it was over. She had no leftover scars from that day. She had the vocabulary to verbalize her experience and the safety of knowing that we thought it was wrong. She saw us fight for her. No secrets. And as you can see, right, trauma follows us through generations. PTSD is contagious. Those cycles travel. And unless we choose to break them, future generations are destined to experience your experience over and over and over again. As you can see with my daughter, it didn't matter what I did, the cycle was running, right? It's over now, right? It's over now. So pick up your copy of Junebug and start your conversation. Start that conversation with those young men and women in your life, right, that are embarking on the world, right? Let them embark consciously. CherieDoyen.com. Have a great day.